Everyone, I am here with the latest Soul Connections video for you. It's hard to believe that it's already time to record another one. Time is just going by at warp speed. I've been delaying doing this video for probably the past 15 minutes because my lovely upstairs neighbor has been banging around like a maniac and running the vacuum. So I'm hoping she's done, but we'll just roll with it if we hear some background noise. Um, so we have right now coming up the 1111 gateway, which, as you guys know, 1111 is the, infamous sign of spiritual awakenings. It's the sign for twin flames, soul connections, just so much meaning behind 1111. So we have that coming up coupled with the full moon in Taurus. I believe it's in Taurus. So it's just a very powerful time right now, no matter what path you're on, right? You may also notice, before I forget, I wanted to mention that you may have noticed that I've changed the title of this type of video. For the longest time since I started these, it was Soul Connections and Separation. And for several reasons, I've decided to just call it Soul Connections. Number one, the wave that I am in myself, the wave that I am channeling the most messages for, I believe there's not really a true separation in the physical sense. You may not be together in a relationship, you may not be actively dating, but you're in a good place where you may be talking to them regularly. Um, you might trail off or whatever, but I feel like there is some contact, even if it's sporadic at this point. And then secondarily, what we all have to remember is, especially if you're a twin flame or this is a true soul bond, sacred partner, beloved connection, there is no such thing as separation. There's not. Physically, you may be separated, but your souls and your heart chakras and, your entire etheric being is intertwined. And there's no separation. In other realms, you're one, and we're all one together. But obviously these bonds are much more um, intertwined, fused, um, whatever word you want to say for that. So I feel like there's been a shift, and I don't want to play up that just because you're not together with someone in the physical, it doesn't mean you're in separation, because you're not. So I think that's an important shift. Speaking of shifts, I did say in the last video that I recorded that I was sensing, I kept getting a lot of moon messages that there were going to be a lot of shifts taking place in, between moon cycles. And I can tell you, for some of my friends that are twin flames, they've had some really profound changes in their connection, as far as um, the amount that their counterpart is reaching out, the amount of times in an unexpected manner, the way, things they're saying, things they're expressing. It's unprecedented as far as where it's, how it's progressed in the connection. So that's been absolutely beautiful, and that's happened just in the last week or two. Others, in my case in particular, I'm just in a very good place energetically, and just in a peaceful, calm, beautiful place with my counterpart. Although the last 2 weeks for me have, there has been some contact, but it's been more about myself and the shifts within myself. Um, I think if you guys saw, and you followed the story, what's happened over the last 3 weeks and since the last Soul Connections video, I was strongly guided, tower moment, that I needed to stop going out, running around town so much, putting myself in situations where I was around more dark energy, and just, even, partaking in any type of intoxication, even though it wasn't like falling down drunk, literally, drinking too much alcoholic type things. I was, it's something that was blocking my ascension and my path forward. So I have not had any alcohol in 3 weeks, which is, it's sad to say that's the longest I've went in years, since I went through celiac and had to quit for a month at that point, and cleanse my system. I don't miss it. It wasn't even tasting good to me anyway. I've lost 6 pounds in 3 weeks without even trying. So that's obviously a benefit. I just, think that that shift had to take place within myself. And remember, anything you do to raise your vibration, to change um, your own path, your own patterns, to grow yourself, it's going to benefit your counterpart in so many ways. My magical word that I always say is alchemical. It's alchemical when you're bound to somebody like this. It's like the baby in the mother's womb. Anything that she does to her own body, you know, it affects the growing life inside of her. And it's the same thing with twin flames being bound together. Anything they do, especially the further this has gone, down the path, and that you're getting closer and closer to union, anything each counterpart does, it's affecting the other one. So with that being said, I'm excited to see what comes out in this reading. We're going to start with the masculine this week. I am going to go forward, and remember, we all have masculine and feminine energy within us. I'm finding that a lot of, both sides of the messages resonate with me. And a lot of us are, just like I said, it's becoming interchangeable, which is the way it should be, because when your energies are balanced, it's androgynous and you kind of either or. So that being said, angel spirit guides, what messages do you have for the divine masculine and the 1111 gateway and the full moon? What's going on with the divine masculine collective? Ooh, here we go. Again, I think I mentioned it. This is the Chakra Wisdom Tarot. So, oh my gosh. Oh, that's beautiful, guys. Wow. These are some major arcana coming out for the masculines, which I'm not surprised. Oh my God. Oh my God. Wow. Okay. There's a lot of major arcana here. Let's see. Just gonna get my bearings. Okay. So what I'm getting here, the masculines have been manifesting a change, a positive change. I feel like they've been harnessing their sacral chakra energy. I feel like, and a lot of other readers are picking up on this as well, that the masculines, just as the feminines, within the last 2.5, not, I want to say 2.5, a year and a half to 2 years, a lot of the feminines were guided to become celibate and to only, to save themselves for their counterpart. And I'm getting the impression that a lot of the masculines are being, feeling that calling as well, that they're really kind of just going within themselves, not really wanting to be promiscuous, and they're not wanting to really engage in any that type of sexual energy unless they're ready to open up emotionally to someone. And so they've sort of, like, I keep getting this impression that they're harnessing it, that they're holding it back. Like, I feel like a lot of them maybe have this, this is interesting, because the magician, I don't know if the magician card typically has two people in it. I think a lot of these decks, traditionally, there's just one guy. He's the magician and he's got all the tools of the trade, right? Here, it's like literally like this masculine is holding this woman at bay. Like, she's trying to tempt him, and he's like, nope, nope, I'm not, I've got all my stuff here that I need. I'm not interested. So that's the impression I'm getting of what's happened since the last reading. That's the last couple of weeks. Their current energy is about self-love, 9 of Cups. So they've been working on themselves, working on their growth. Again, this is another sacral chakra color, orange. So they could be literally giving themselves self-love, which is fine with us, right? Right, feminines that are watching this. So no, in all seriousness, though, they're working on flourishing and finding their own fire, their own love within themselves. So the current what took my breath away when I saw the first card was the sun. The sun came out. You guys know, this is a major arcana. This is one of the best cards in the deck that you can get. I mean, there's probably like 5 cards that are like, maybe 3 cards that are like, oh my God, this is like the Holy Grail card. The sun. I mean, you can't get much better than that. So they're seeing this light. This is let's see. And this is, yeah, so okay, now that I can see these together. This is a crown chakra card, I believe. They're having that calling, they're seeing the light, they're being given guidance, right? The seeds have been planted to open their third eye. The seeds have been planted on this journey. I've been seeing things like, it's preordained, especially, those that are twin flames and certain sacred counterparts that are supposed to come together in this lifetime. It's happening, and the divine, is ushering it in. That's why tower moments are happening, to keep people back on, to get them back on track if they're diverting from their path and what they signed up for. So you've got the 7 of coins here, which is the 7 of pentacles, third eye chakra. There's still, the sun isn't quite here yet. It's not fully illuminated, they're the masculines in their situation, because the seeds are still blooming. They're still awakening. They're still going through this process. I'm getting this. A lot of them are not fully awakened, but they are at this point where, I think too, this 11/11 gateway and this full moon is there's a desire stirring within them. And again, you've got all this purple, this indigo, which is the third eye and the crown. They're really starting to tap into that realm and to know that there's something else going on here, and to really start understanding more about it, and just get these feelings that that they haven't really maybe tapped into before, or quite understood, or they've kind of maybe ignored. But what I'm getting is that they want to speak their truth. You've got the King of Swords. This is a king. A king is beautiful energy. We don't have any knights here in this spread. You've got king energy. They want, and swords are about truth, about communication. This is also another third eye chakra. They're starting to realize the truth, and they're wanting to come forward and speak it. And again, I know, some of my friends that are twins, they've had, some very emotional, open communication with their counterpart this last week, and it's just been amazing to hear about it. So things, really are starting to shift. And, look how powerful he is, and sure, and just like he's got the light, the light is kind of pushing him, it's like the light is, he's got the sword in his hand, and he's kind of like a little guarded, maybe because he's got the dogs there, and he's kind of sitting, and he looks a little kind of bewildered, right? I don't know if you can see his expression, kind of like, whoa, what's happening to me? Oh my God. But I feel like this is kind of like this awakening. It's kind of like he's being pushed and urged to like come forward and speak his truth, and to bring forth a new beginning with his counterpart. You've got the Fool here, which is about new beginnings. It's another major arcana. So we've had the Magician, the Sun, and the Fool, and we have 2 other major arcana that I haven't got to yet. So it's really amazing. Okay. Oh, and notice this is red, which is associated with the root chakra. So if he's really, the action forward is him coming forward with a new beginning, with an offer, with something solid. I think he's feeling a little bit more grounded and a little bit more stable in his situation, which is why he's, getting to this point where if he's leveling out, more is opening up here, upwards. And when that, as that's happening, right, as he takes that step forward, he's stepping into his truth, and which is that he is the divine masculine. He's the emperor. And the blue is the throat chakra. So he's here, and he's starting to realize his power. See how he's gone from this younger guy right here, right, who's a little bewildered, And it actually looks like the same guy, which is very interesting. This guy looks like he's probably in his 20s, early 30s. He's kind of like unsure, holding the sword, and the divine is like pushing him, like the light's like, nope, nope, you got to go out there. You got to do this. You got to speak your truth. You're ready, you're ready, you're ready. So when he finally comes forward, he then grows and matures. And then he's like confident sitting there. And the staff, it's not having to urge him anymore because it's within, like he's radiating the light out from himself. Um, and he's kind of turning away from all of this stuff in the past. Um, again, these temptresses and things like that. I think the masculines may be getting tested right now with Mercury retrograde. That's kind of coming through, as many people are tested. But I think the divine masculines might be tested maybe with exes trying to come back, um, or people they flirted with in the past, or, maybe just hung out with or whatever, maybe coming back around and trying to tempt them. And they're kind of like, you know what? No, I'm not interested in that anymore. I know my truth. I know my truth. Um, and I think, again, that's where I'm getting the X's. Like you've got the Three of Swords here, which is an ugly card, right? But everything else in this reading, I'm not getting that energy at all, that this wave of masculines is interested in third party energy anymore. I think that this is representing, maybe they're going to be a little tempted by it, but then they're kind of like, nah, I'm not. I know this is a test. I think they're recognizing it. um, they're recognizing it, and the fact that this card is associated in this deck with the solar plexus chakra is about confidence, and it's about, just, yeah, strength and confidence, and believing in yourself, and believing that you can have this strong, stable relationship with your divine feminine, and there's no more Three of Swords. I think that, for the longest time, there's been a lot of issues, both counterparts have had, that they've had to face. Obviously, I said the root chakra, them feeling solid in their foundation was an issue. There was lack of confidence, and just, I think they've had their hearts broken in the past. And but once they step into that emperor energy, which they're pretty much, they're there. I mean, because you've got major arcana supporting you, for these divine masculines to change. He's about to become this, speaking his truth, overcoming, his lack of confidence, and bringing forth a solid, tangible offer, to his, divine feminine, because you've got a heartfelt offer too. I mean, you've got, Princess of Coins, which is the Page of Pentacles. It's green. It's associated with the heart chakra. This is solid, tangible communication. And who is he talking to? The High Priestess. Okay, so it might not be the Empress. That's the true counterpart, right, for the Emperor. But the High Priestess is also representative of, a very, ascended feminine, who's spiritual, who is a guide, who's a teacher. She's been the light that's been beckoning him. She's the one who has been, helping him find his confidence, right? We've got the solar plexus energy here again. And he is growing on his journey and realizing, that this is a connection, where the counterparts are affecting each other. So, yeah, I'm not getting it all. Like sometimes the high priestess can be about hidden things. You've got the Three of Swords here, but I'm not getting that. You've got, Emperor and a new beginning. You've got the Magician, again, with him holding off third parties and him wanting to speak his truth. So the seeds have been planted. This is happening. And I'm getting to, I mean, the only thing that I think in this stage, if this is if you're in the wave that I'm channeling, for, I think the only thing that's hidden at this point for some of you is the depth of the feelings that he has for the divine feminine, and that he's not admitted it. And, I'm getting that's going to happen very soon. So with that being said, let's pull a message. Pull a message from the masculine to the feminine and see what he wants to say. I've got a couple of different decks here. So I'm feeling these ones are kind of dark, sometimes, but we'll see. We may need to clarify. surprised to see this. I can't ignore the signs I'm receiving any longer. I can't ignore the signs I'm receiving any longer. Did I not say that we have a guy here who is a little unsure still, but he's being blasted. His third eye is being blasted by light here too. It's just not quite time. There's still some work both sides need to do, but the shifts have definitely been happening. And I think that this gateway coming, this new moon, or full moon, sorry, is going to be very, very important for that. I'm going to also pull Untold Truths of the Heart Oracle by Aqua Moonlight. We're just going to pull something about the what is the masculine? What is hidden right now? What is he hiding? What truth is he hiding? The High Priestess and the King of Swords. What truth is he hiding from the feminine? Yeah, that doesn't surprise me. Let's see what else we got here. I'm spending all this time on the masculine, you guys. Okay. So we got clinging, holding on, obsessing, watching. So I think this, I'm getting the sense that a lot of masculines are stalking or watching their divine feminine on social media. They're thinking about her a lot, obsessing. They're holding on to kind of some past memories, and they're thinking it's kind of overwhelming them, you know, this desire. And then I think too, they still have some resentment, and I don't know that it's necessarily against their divine feminine. It's stinging words, bitterness, anger. I think that's where the Three of Swords is still kind of there for them. I think they're thinking about, and maybe the retrograde is bringing this up for them, the past heartbreaks they've had, the hurts, the times that they've opened up themselves and opened their heart and they've been crushed. And they've been left, you know, kind of clinging, and this feeling like that somebody wasn't reciprocating the feelings. I think there's still that fear that they have a little bit that needs to be worked on. But I think that this retrograde cycle and the 1111 gateway is going to help with that. All right, so let's see what's going on with the divine feminine. We'll see if last time, because I feel like there was an inner connection because she showed up in his, right, with the High Priestess. So we'll see. We may not end up having to do the connection again because it's just so, it's so intertwined right now. Let's see what's going on. Angel, Spirit Guides, Master. So your channel for messages for the divine feminine. What's going on with the divine feminine? The 1111 gateway. Oh, that's the last. Okay. All right. Yeah. That's very interesting. Very, very interesting. Okay. All right. So, the divine feminines, I think, are in a place where they're wanting to, they feel ready and they're wanting to start working with their divine masculine as a team. They're wanting to work together physically. They feel like, you know, I'm ready for this. I want this relationship. I want to be with him. I want to work on things. They've got, you know, because you've got the Three of Pentacles here, which is for me the teamwork, the masculine, feminine, and union physically. This is, you know, kind of been, you know, I don't want to, like, gestating for a while, but they're really kind of having this urgency where they're just like, I really want to start communicating more. I want to start working towards something. But the blocking energy is the Six of Pentacles, which is a card about, sixes are a lot of times about reunion. It's about physical effort being put in. So I'm getting that it's not quite time for that, as we know, because if that's something you're wanting and it's because it's not there, it's not quite time. A lot of feminines have had tower moments in the past couple of weeks. They have had moments where their old life has been obliterated. They've had to close out unhealthy cycles, patterns, change, whatever it is, let go of toxic relationships, just go within more, and just their whole way of existence and being has changed. Some of them have let go of addictions. Some of them, you've got Ten of Swords here. That means it's done, it's closed. They're still maybe reeling a little bit from the end of some of these cycles because it has been painful. It hasn't been easy. Um, there's a lot of people around. I mean, I can vouch for this, friends, coworkers that are just going through the ringer right now with a lot of this energy. There's just a lot of shit happening, and so a lot of the feminines, I think, are trying to they feel like they're getting bombarded from all directions as well, because they're beacons of light for their friends and for these other people they know, and so they're going through their own tower moments. Other people are going through tower moments, and I think some of the feminines are feeling like they're kind of being drained and pulled in a million directions, like trying to help people, trying to help themselves, trying to balance everything. But the ultimate, they know that this is just a bump in the road. It's a lesson. It's a challenge, because they know that what's coming. Four of Wands. That's the 1111 card, by the way. We're talking about the 1111 gateway. I mean, how beautiful is that? This is about building a solid foundation, plans manifesting, putting things in motion for the future. And again, it's the twin flame card. So it's like the fruit is, it's ripening, right? It's I don't want to say ripening. It's like about to be harvested. All this stuff. Look at this. It's growing. It's almost within their reach. Almost, like this little bear can almost touch it. It's just not quite time, but we're very, very close, right? I think there's still a little bit more balancing that needs to be done. For the feminines, you've got Two of Pentacles. Maybe just, it's November. I love this. Some of the memes. I don't think I've shared it yet on my page. But November, November. It means say no. Like, it's okay to say no to your, to friends or family, or just like how I had to kind of take a step back, from taking appointments. It's, not like I was too inundated, but it's like, all right, if somebody wants an appointment, the only time I really have is a Saturday or Sunday. And I'm already so busy doing other things I don't have time to do through the week. I've got to, I'm trying to declutter and do some other things that I need to get done. And so I just had to say, no, like, I'm going to try to stay in. I'm not going even, because I'm obviously really not going out anymore. I'm just going to have more free time to do things. And it's been wonderful to find that balance, between, running around like crazy and trying to please people and go, and just say, you know what? No, I need time for me. I need to worry about me. And so once we, feminines, you do these things, right? You process the tower moments that have happened. I think we have a visitor here. Oh, it's Leo, because he wants to eat. I thought it was Pip. She's usually the one that likes to visit, but hopefully he can behave. Can you behave for a few minutes? It's not even really time to eat yet. I don't know. He always wants to eat. Anyway, back to the reading. Sorry. The feminines need to process the tower moments that have happened to themselves and to those in their lives. I think there's some purging that needs to be done. I know myself, I've kind of been just like, I'll do it tomorrow, because let's face it, when you sit down and you ugly cry for an hour, you don't exactly look beautiful the next day. I mean, your eyes are puffy, and it's like, oh, I've got this tomorrow. I don't want to wake up and look all, you've got to sit down. You've got to face this pain that's still there. It's like coming at you from all directions. Allow yourself to cry. Allow yourself to let it go. Find that balance within your work and home life, your staying in, going out, whatever it is, your time to work spiritual work, your time to work on decluttering, whatever it is, it needs to be balanced. your masculine, feminine energy. If you know there's still some things you need to do to get more in tune with one side or the other, we're at this point in the journey, in this stage, I think you kind of just intuitively know what you need to do, right? When you do these things, guess what's going to happen? Reunion, celebration. 3 of Cups, 6 of Cups. It's, you've got this masculine, feminine riding over the sun, right? And the masculines had the sun in theirs, which is absolutely beautiful. We've got this 8 of Swords here, which is a little bit of a negative card. Not terribly negative. It's kind of a feeling of being trapped. And let's see here. Let's see what I'm getting for that. I feel like some of you aren't fully tapping into your spiritual gifts. Some of you, may be out of balance with that. Even though I've cut back on, I feel like I'm more balanced because I can record this video whenever it is convenient for me in my own home. I don't have to worry about somebody else's schedule. If I ended up not feeling like doing it, I wouldn't have to, or I could put it off till tomorrow. So that gives me some flexibility to still serve the collective, to still help people, but, to not overextend myself. But I feel like some of you either maybe don't believe in yourself and the gifts that you have, or you're not sure how to get them out there. You're either afraid of putting yourself out there, or you're not really believing that you are capable of doing these things. And let me tell you, if you're on this path, if you are resonating with this type of thing, and you're a twin flame, or on the beloved path, sacred partner, 5D conscious relationship, whatever it is, if you're going through ascension and you're going through these things, you have spiritual gifts. You are at least at a minimum intuitive. You're getting signs. You're noticing things. So I feel like you're just, some of you are just trying to figure out how you can tap into that. And so maybe I'll do a separate video on that. That's kind of coming out because I talked about doing one. I think I talked more about the divine masculines. I think I did and I talked about doing a more special video for the divine feminines. But anyway, the last card that we got, you guys, this is very, very interesting to me. The masculines, the last card he got was the High Priestess, and feminines got the High Priestess. And notice there's a full moon above it. I think there is in this one too. No, there's not. But I think it's, this is kind of like a message that you can't box yourself in and be afraid to speak your truth, to shine your light. I think this is a calling, that as you step into the High Priestess energy, your intuitive, spiritual gifts, this divine, mysterious goddess energy that is within you, that I think is trapped right now. You're suppressing it. You're afraid of it. You're unsure. You're not sure of yourself, which I understand because I've been there. There's still times I'm kind of like, am I really doing this? Am I really gonna, especially doing readings for people in person, like one-on-one, I still get so nervous doing that. So I think this is, you've got to step into your power as a High Priestess, as a guide, as a spiritual teacher, because the feminines are the manifesting energy in this connection, right? You've got to do it for yourself, number one, but the feminines are the manifesting energy. And so once you become this, right, beacon of light for all to see, and you put yourself out there, you expand your gifts, you become a beacon of light for your divine masculine, right? That's where he's going. That's where he's headed. This new beginning, turning into the emperor, sword in hand, ready to speak his truth. And he's on his way marching to her to reveal the hidden truths that have yet to be revealed. That's what I'm getting. Let's see what message the feminine has for the masculine. going to use the romance angels for this. Message does the feminine have for the masculine right now? Whoa. She wants to say a lot. Of course she's going to say something like this. Calling in your soulmate. Your prayers, affirmations, and visualizations help bring you together. So I think she's saying, you know, when you feel that heat pouring through you, when you get a sudden flash of me, when you have dreams of us together, when you hear songs, when you're reminded of me, you know, it's not random, and I'm feeling it too. And we're often in each other's dreams, very vivid dreams. And it's because this is divine connection. So some of the masculines, I think, maybe are starting to experience these things pretty strongly. And this is just confirmation that the feminines are too. And the masculines are not crazy. This is real. And that, you know, maybe they're starting to feel more of the telepathy and just like I said, the flashes of heat. You know, it's when I think about my counterpart, when I think about him, and it just like the heat pours through me and my hands catch on. I mean, it's just, and then it's coming out of my heart chakra now. It's just getting stronger and stronger. And then I'll hear a message and then I, you know, send a message back and it's just like, oh, it's like overwhelming. It is overwhelming. And I think this is a message that the feminines want the masculines to know that they're feeling these things. And that, you know, if the masculines are starting to feel these things, it's okay. And it's actually very beautiful, and we're happy that you're feeling these things. Let's see. Instead of doing the connection again, I don't know that I really need to tap into that because I feel like, again, it's very much intertwined. The feminines need to work on balancing more, stepping more into their spirituality, putting their gifts out there, shining their light, raising their vibration. That's calling the masculines home. I mean, that's evident because they both ended with the high priestess, which again, a 2, that's like 2 together, right? The truth coming out, all of those things. Let's see. I'm feeling called to pull a message. I'm gonna do a few general messages. This is the Mystic Moon Oracles. We're gonna see what comes out, what message Spirit has for the counterparts from the Mystic Moon Oracles. Message of Spirit have. You cannot make this shit up, you guys. You can't make this shit up. Balancing the scales. Did I not just say? I said we don't need to pull cards on the connection because it's pretty evident the feminine has got to get balanced and she's got to step into her power, become the beacon, and it's drawing him home. I think this is confirmation, balancing the scales, and this is a feminine in here that it's getting very close to being balanced. Things are really starting to get in alignment. There's just a little bit more that needs to be done. And some of the masculines, some of them are still unawakened, but, you know, tipping the scales, you know, getting everything, that's going to trigger, like I said, the new beginning, boom. I mean, he's almost ready to step into that emperor energy and come forward. We saw that with the cards that he got. So let's see what else we've got, guys. I'm going to pull from Wisdom of the Oracle by Colette Baron Reed. What message does Spirit have for counterparts from Wisdom of the Oracle? Oops. These are upside down. I did not mean for that. So we're gonna pull one more just to see if that affected the energy. That was upside down too. I don't know what's going on with these cards. Anyway, okay, mending, which is beautiful, and higher power. So, you know, just for those of you who maybe are not in that great of a place with your counterpart. Maybe you haven't talked to them in a while. Maybe things were left a little bit awkward, or um, not as friendly as you would like. You're not, you're not in maybe a great place. Spirit wants you to know that things are mending. See how you have the pink and the blue and the sky. Behind the scenes, there's things going on that you may not realize that each partner has to do on their own. The separation period is necessary, if this is your situation, to force you to work on some things that maybe you wouldn't face or feel, or that wouldn't be triggered by by the separation otherwise. And a higher power is guiding you and guiding this connection. This is number 4. This is emperor energy. So it's just really a beautiful card. It's just reassurance from spirit that you may not see things a certain way, physically, but it's being mended and being worked on behind the scenes. So that's really beautiful. I'm gonna actually, I'm feeling called. I love these cards. This is the I don't know if it's Tarot of Sexual Magic or it's something sexual, but let's see what's going on with the connection. Why don't we just see what the masculine's feeling from this deck here? What message does the masculine have for the feminine? Whoa. Wow. That's a little, let's see what's going on. Let's see what the feminine says in response to that. All right. So I think what I'm getting here is the masculines, some of them feel intimidated by their feminine sexually. They feel like they feel like they're not the one, they're not capable of being dominant in the connection. They feel like she might just tear them apart. This is a very graphic image, so this is like R-rated, FYI. Ace of Swords, though, is about a new beginning, but it's about a difficult new beginning. So I think some of them are they're desiring their feminine, but they are very much in their head about the next time they're together, just that they're very much nervous about, number 1, performing, and number 2, about emotionally being able to open up, which is probably why for some of you that maybe hasn't happened in a while, that there's not been that encounter, because their heart, right? Their heart is out here on the table, and it's got all these, like, it almost looks like an operating table, and they're just like, I'm not ready for this. And then they're just like feeling like helpless and kind of like they're just kind of overwhelmed, right? When they think about it. The feminine, on the other hand, is the 10 of Cups. She's like, I want to offer you all these things, and he's got his back turned because he's just not ready. He's not ready for that depth of it. And so I'm getting, for some of you, you may not have that encounter with your counterpart physically again until, it could be a while, because they just may not be ready until they're ready to open their heart and their confidence, and they're completely, stepping in their emperor power. They're not ready to just have some sort of a fling or whatever. They don't want to feel like this. They don't want to feel helpless. They don't want to feel like their heart is completely bare and susceptible to being torn out. And they want to feel confident in sexually with you. So there's that. And then I'm going to just pull one more. Just to end on a little bit better note than that. Signs from Spirit, Love Oracle. We're going to see what signs you might be seeing from Spirit or from your divine counterpart, what they might be sending you, just to let you know they're thinking of you. I mean, these things, you feel it. Don't really need it, but these things are fun to do. So let's just, for entertainment purposes, see what Spirit comes up with. What messages, what things are we going to see? Whoops. Actually, those two. Oh, you guys. I love it. It's 222. Partnerships and balance. Cannot make this shit up. You guys knew I was going to say that, right? Pay attention to the new people entering your life. Take time to balance your time and energy and existing ones. That's exactly a lot. The message that we kept getting throughout this reading was about balance. We got the balancing act. We got the Two of Pentacles for the feminine. So we had a lot of that. It's like she's got to balance and step into her power, right? 222, partnerships and balance. That it's like you might be seeing 2-2 a lot. 2-2-2 a lot. I know I have been. And hummingbirds. You might be seeing hummingbirds. Sweetness. You guys remember the hummingbird visited me in Sedona. And it was absolutely beautiful. And I knew it wasn't random. So signs you're on the right path. Signs from Spirit. Hummingbirds. 2-2-2. And I'm sure there'll be other signs. You just need to ask for them. You need to ask for them in dreams, and just you'll see things in awakening when you're awakening too. So it's a beautiful time right now, guys. So I hope that resonated. I hope that helped, and I look forward to the next reading, as it will be a new moon in Sagittarius, and I'm sure it will be. I think there'll be a lot of fire and passion coming in the next couple of weeks. So stay tuned.